Well, my first reaction to is, girl, you made it. You did it. I think it's a lot of emotions, especially as I think about, as I said before, Quandra was a black woman who had a vision, and she was doubted all the way through the process. When it was a constant no from lenders, and people just did not really believe in her vision completely. Like, it was a nice idea, but it's a difference between being a nice idea and being willing to fund and support a project. So to see her here and break ground and actually start construction, I'm excited. I'm happy for her, and I think that it begins to sort of demonstrate how, if we all collectively work together, how that power and that collaboration can not only support and benefit that project, but it's going to also benefit the Woodlawn community. So I'm very excited about that. But I will say, I was so happy for her, and I'm just so happy that she finally made it. She did it. Wow. So I can tell you that real estate is complex, and it's actually just not one thing. It really is a coordination of all of those things, from the architect to the site plan to the capital coordination. All those pieces really have to go together and work together. So I would say the most impactful is going to always come down to capital. Projects can do all the planning that they need to do to advance their projects, but at the end of the day, they really need the capital. And so I think that what was most impactful for us and where we really added value was that we were constantly helping her identify potential funding sources to advance her project. Because at the end of the day, we actually want the project to be built. And so we're happy to see we're here today while this project is planning done. I think the coordination is probably the most important. So what people don't realize, and I know Quandra's going to know this after she completes her project, that it is not a one-man band. It literally is a team, and that team has to work together consistently. And so I think what I enjoyed about Quandra's project in Urban Market Exchange was the fact that we had very good relationships with her architect. We worked with her owner's rep. We knew her lenders. And so we were able to, as a help desk, which is a function that we serve, we were able to come in times, and in some cases even act sort of as a translator, because Quandra was new. This is her first, she's new to this process. This was her first project. But because we have the technical skills to really help her navigate that, a lot of times we were able to translate and make sure that her project stayed on track. So I think the communication and the coordination across her project team was probably the biggest collaboration, and we could see the impact of that coordination. Well, what Quandra would probably agree with me on, you need to listen to your subject matter experts. That's probably the biggest takeaway I think that she will probably openly admit, is that she's gone through this journey. And so when you're going through a journey and you're new at something, it's very important that, one, you listen to your subject matter experts, but you also hire and engage the right people, right? So you have to curate the right team to really support you. I think that's probably the biggest lesson that I would say to entrepreneurs, people who are new to sort of this development space, is that you have to invest in your project. And when I say invest, it is sometimes you may have to pay extra for an owner's rep or a project manager, because in the long run, that's gonna help you. And so just understanding all those components and making sure that you are strategic about how you put together your team and willing to make that investment is probably the biggest advice that I can give others who are interested in doing this work. So as I mentioned earlier, a lot of the commercial corridors on the south side sit vacant. They sit vacant for a few reasons. They sit vacant because the cost of doing redevelopment and revitalizing these properties is more than what the value of the property would be when it's completed. They also sit vacant because in most cases on the South Side, we have a lot of extractive and parasitic landlords who really don't see the vision and the need to sort of have development in Black communities. So I think the fact that she's one, taking a vacant property, and two, she's now activating a vacant property. This is one less blighted building that's going to sit on our commercial corridors on the South Side. And I think the ripple effect is going to be twofold. One, she is building the capacity of artisans and makers and giving them a space to work and grow their business, but she's also giving life to a business district that's going to allow interaction with neighbors and others who come into the community. So I think it's a win all around. She'd be opening up her second location. Um, I think what I would be happy to be celebrating is one, her space is thriving. We can talk about the entrepreneurs that have grown and advanced in her space. We can talk about how she was one of the early adopters to this corridor, and she's helped to sort of activate it and stabilize it. And she's thinking about other projects and other ways that she can bring this concept to other neighborhoods across Chicago. So yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to.